Good morning. My name is Corliss Smith. On behalf of Pastor Ninan, worship producer Vincent Rains, musicians Renee Witten and Susan Kiter, breakout room facilitators Corliss Smith, chaplain Besa Wheel, Jeff Melcher, Emily Stoper, and others on the worship team. Welcome to worship service with First Unitarian Church of Oakland. We're glad you're here. Please note that we are recording this service. If you don't want to be on the recording, please keep your camera turned off. You will find this and other services on our website. For the best viewing experience, we recommend that you install the Zoom app on your device and update it to the latest version.
Hi, everybody. My name is Daisy. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees, and we are glad you are here. We are an intentionally multi-generational, multiracial, multicultural, inclusive, and anti-oppressive religious community. You are welcome here. We invite you to fill out the guest connection card you will see in the chat. We want to be able to support your exploration of what's available in our community that interests you and how you might participate. Welcome.
We begin with lighting our chalice. You'll see the words on the screen. If you know the motions, please join along at home. We light this chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May it remind us of the divine spark in all creation, the power of love to heal what is broken, and to be grateful for life's blessings each day. And now we light the Black Lives Matter candle in recognition of the Black Lives Matter movement with the words of Philadelphia Unitarian and abolitionist Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. She said, "Life is fading away, and we have but an hour of time. Should we not therefore endeavor to let its history gladden the earth? The nearer we ally ourselves to the wants and woes of humanity, the closer we get to the great heart of God, the nearer to the beating of the pulse of universal love. So we may journey." And we light a peace candle for all the suffering in the world, ranging from war to unjust laws to suffering of immigration and boundaries and borders. These words are from Carlos Santana, the musician. The most valuable possession you can own is an open heart. The most powerful weapon you can be is an instrument of peace.
Now we're going to unmute our microphones and greet each other. Hi.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good
morning.
Morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Mary. Hi, Corliss.
Morning,
Hi.
Susan.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Carol.
Emily.
Everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Hi,
Luann.
Reverend Ninan.
Hi, Donna.
Mary,
Claudine. Hi, Reverend Ninan.
Hey, MJ.
Hi,
Mary.
Hi there.
Hi,
Hey,
Debbie.
Carol. How are you?
Great.
Hi, Corey.
Carol.
Hi, Cindy. Hi there. Hey, hi, Heather. Yes.
Hi, Penny.
Seeing you again.
Arnie.
Hi,
Maria and Catherine.
Claudia.
Noemi.
Hi, Dennis. How you doing?
You're all popping up on my screen.
Good morning, Heather.
Hi,
Linda.
Maria.
Susan.
Seen you in a while.
Mary and Linda.
Hi.
That sounds like the end. Now,
Oh, that was fun.
mute your microphones.
That was fun.
Y'all are really lovely. I have a few things to set us up with today. First, in the chat, you'll find a link to reminders. There are 2 this week about the board meeting and First Sunday coming up. So if you'd like to read those or save them for your remembering, it's right there. All you have to do is click and grab it. That's the first thing. The second thing, today, we are going to really engage with some questions. And so I want to tell you a story about a seeker who was running through town. He started at the synagogue and he had questions. He said, how is this going to work? What is the meaning of life? And he was running through town asking the question, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? And finally, he made it to the rabbi's house. And he said, Rabbi, I just need to know, how is this going to work out? What is the meaning of life? And the rabbi grabbed him by the shoulders and said, you've got to get yourself together, sir. This is the opportunity. The questions bring us together. The answers only divide us. And I don't know about answers being ultimately divisive, but I do know I want us to definitely lean into what the questions are and what people's answers and engagements are. So that's one of our blessings today, is to really hear from others in our group. So as we move into our groups, one thing I want you to remember is that we need to make sure people get turns. And depending on the time and how things work out, it might be longer and shorter, but we want to do a stack. So if you're able to keep a stack in your group, go ahead and volunteer to your facilitator, or just be helpful in making sure that people know they can have a turn coming up if they choose. That's one of your most important tasks today, along with listening. So let me show you some agreements. There are 4. Respect for differences. Not everyone is going to have the same answer or even the same question. Share the time. Make sure lots of people get a chance to speak. And confidentiality. Here's the thing. Can't swear anyone to secrecy, but you can respect the personalness of people's stories by not repeating them. So I can say, hey, I learned that one thing that's possible is healing in this way. But I would never say, oh, because Mr. Brown said that's how he healed because he went through these 3 tough times. Those are 2 different things, right? Not identifying people or circumstances. The other thing is today, you're going to hear the question, you're going to share an answer, but I'm going to ask you not to comment on other people's answers. Just hold them as important and hold them as their truth. Are you ready for all that? You're going to be great at it. You're used to listening carefully, but today's our chance to do it together this morning. So the first thing we're going to do to get ready is go ahead and have a song. Then we'll do embracing meditation and move into our material. So let's do that.
I welcome you from a place in my heart. I welcome you from a place in my heart. I welcome you. I welcome you. I welcome you from a place in my heart. I welcome you. I welcome you. I welcome you from a place in my heart. I welcome you from a place in my heart. I welcome you from a place in my heart. I welcome you. I welcome from a place in my heart. We welcome you from a place in our hearts. We welcome you from a place in our hearts. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you from a place in our hearts. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you from a place in our hearts.
If you take a couple of easy breaths, relax into your chair, feel it holding you up, feel the ground beneath your body. And join me in a word of prayer or contemplation. We hold together a great number of things: injuries, death, illness. Some of it brings additional blessing, but much of it is grief in our hearts. We join as a community to say that these things matter. They're not invisible. And that to this moment, to our friends experiencing this grief, we offer our care and our love. We offer our strength. There are good news as well. Good news is we're grateful for Richard and Betty being together for 65 years, this blessing. We're grateful for families growing and sharing. We're grateful for people recovering. And for all these things, we hold them with care and courage in our hearts. May we be the ones to carry compassion forward day to day. Amen.
I'm actually pretty jazzed about this format we're trying today. A series of small breakout rooms. It's good to try new things, though I'm pretty tired of Zoom. My gosh, I hope we can figure out a way to get back together in person again. I've been grateful not to have to drive to church frequently, but I'd be grateful to do it now so we could be face to face. We've learned the attenuation that such a long in-person drought has brought us. We're kind of dry, like our drought-afflicted region. But Zoom is what we've got for now, and the breakout rooms could be quite wonderful. After all, we'll be considering important real-life questions with us, intelligent, sensitive people who seek the good, the true, and the just. How lovely to be with friends and acquaintances with whom we're reunited. We are reunited in the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism. The holiest ones to me are the first and the 7th, the dignity and worth of every being and the belief that life is an interconnected web that we acknowledge and protect. These are the ones I most need to be reminded of. I'm the coordinator of one of the breakout rooms, so I saw the questions that Rev Soto suggests we ask ourselves. Wow, these are questions we could spend whole eons talking about. So we're bound to feel somewhat incomplete at the end. We'll just accept that. As I look through the questions, some prodded immediate responses and some left me blank. This is good because it forces me to articulate. Often I don't know what I think or believe until I actually have to express it. Take the first listed question. What kinds of experiences connect you with life, with mystery, with the larger whole, or with spirituality? I can answer this one almost immediately. Pardon me. Looking at the starry sky on a clear night for sure connects me with mystery and the larger whole. Then I realized that looking at almost anything carefully, really being present with it, gives it more meaning. So the question for me then becomes how to look carefully from moment to moment. That's the hard part. Another question. What is the best way to achieve happiness? This is very difficult because, no doubt, it must vary according to each person. But the research, there is actually research about happiness, shows that resolving to be happy is one of the best ways to do it. One might say in the morning, I intend to be happy today. The second best way to achieve happiness for me goes through chocolate. On the question, what is something that you couldn't do a year ago that you can do now? This was easy. I can recognize and sometimes even use the past tense in Spanish. He estado estudiando español. Instead of being able to list things that I used to believe and no longer do, I realized that rather than changing beliefs, I discover what beliefs I actually have or assumptions I often make that have no basis in reality. This happens to me so often that it's embarrassing. Sometimes it seems my mind is a museum of contorted assumptions, like a random wardrobe, the items of which arrived anonymously and which don't match. I look in the mental mirror and gasp. However, there was one difficult question I have a pretty good answer for. How do we sort out right and wrong and good and evil? I acquired a tool for doing this when I took Intro to Philosophy as a freshman in college. A lot of what I studied in that course had no meaning to me. I remember slogging through a Spinoza text that was arranged in numbered statements. It might as well have been written in Klingon as much as I could understand it. But then we got to Kant, Immanuel Kant, who I mostly didn't understand either, though the notion of a dialectic I thought was very cool. But I was most struck with the beauty and utility of his idea, Kant's idea, of the categorical imperative, which is a tool for deciding if something is moral or not. It goes like this. An action is moral if I could agree that it would be all right for everyone to do it. For example, would it be moral for me to dent someone's car and to drive away from it without leaving a note? Through the categorical imperative, I ask myself, would it be all right for everyone to do that? And I have to say, no. It may be that lots and lots of people do exactly that, drive away from dents. Nonetheless, it's immoral. On the sin scale, this might be a venial rather than a mortal sin, but it is a sin. We Unitarian Universalists don't have much truck with sin, but the way the Catholic Church sorts it is interesting. They have an interesting scheme, though a lot of what are identified as sins wouldn't qualify under the categorical imperative. For example, French kissing. I'd be fine with anyone doing it with any other consenting person. I hope you'll enjoy the breakout room questions. Please don't feel that you have to come up with a good answer. It's probably more important to really listen to what other people say. Another important thing is that we're together, wanting to know each other. There may be things you'll want to incorporate into your own reality, or things you want to pursue with another person at a later time. This is one of the ways we're getting to know the people with whom we've chosen to share Unitarian Universalism. Drink deeply.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils.
On that note of beauty, we're going to move into our first breakout room. Remember to keep a stack for each other and listen as much as you can. Well, thank you all for trying that first one. What we'd like to do now is let's go ahead and go to our second song. And then immediately after that, we'll go into a second breakout. And we'll discuss another question. So come down, O love divine, from the chancel choir.
Here we have it, the vision of a full life, a demonstration of setting priorities, getting it done, not being consumed by the small stuff, right? But is this life that is full up to the very tippy top without any room for one more thing, the best life to live? Not for me. I think I will pour off the water and water my plant. Then I'll sieve out the sand. And make a nice Zen garden to meditate with. I'll shake out the gravel to make a comfy space for my new fish. I'm going to stick these little rocks into clay. And make myself a new chalice. Oh, look, just a few big rocks are left, with lots of space in between. There's so much room. I'm going to keep these right in here to remind me to pay attention to the big important stuff, but to also leave room to breathe and just be. Instead of this super packed jar, I created a new altar.
Okay, I just want to say that I enjoyed those breakout sessions, but they were definitely not long enough. I wish we could have gone longer and really gotten to hear about everything from everyone. So that's something we can look forward to. This is the point in the service where I will ask you to contribute money to the church. In many previous services, people have been so eloquent in explaining the importance of giving money to the church because of what it means to us. I enjoy hearing these impassioned talks, though I'm already convinced that I should give to the church. My stumbling block has to do with how much I should give. If I'm already pledging a fair amount, should I contribute more? And if so, how much? After all, there are many worthy causes and recipients for our bucks. I usually answer this question by asking myself if I can give more. If I can, then I will. All gifts are welcome. It could be useful to remember the biblical story of the widow's mite. In it, Jesus is preaching in the temple. Quote, he sat down opposite the treasury and observed how the crowd put money into the treasury. Many rich people put in large sums. A poor widow also came and put in 2 small coins worth a few cents. Calling his disciples to himself, he said to them, Amen, I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors to the treasury, for they have all contributed from their surplus wealth, but she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had. I'm definitely not suggesting you give all you have, but you could give a little extra. No? There will now appear on the screen instructions for how to give. Will you join with me now in saying the words to the congregational commitment? To the work of the church, which is weaving a tapestry of love we call community, we dedicate ourselves and these our offerings.
Now we will enjoy our closing song and then a benediction.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll sing a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
How grateful I am for our dedicated and talented musicians, even at a distance. What a blessing. I'd like to close our service today with words from Black Harlem Renaissance poet Langston Hughes. In his poem, Hope, this is what he says. Sometimes I'm lonely. Don't know why. Keep thinking I won't be lonely by and by. Today we've listened to each other for this purpose, to find ourselves across space and time and say that the words that we share, the people we are, really matter. As you move into your week, we're grateful for your presence. We're grateful for your possibility. And we invite you to return, that we may all make each other less lonely by and by.